10:07.
John Kass and Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan, and they're in for Don and Roma.
I want to remind you that so much happens while you're at work each day. Roe and Roper wrap it all up with some big-name guests, news, traffic, and some laughs. Afternoons 2 to 6 on Chicago's Talk Leader, 89 WLS. I'm looking at some of the headlines here, economic headlines. Flames of anger spread from Madrid to Athens. Greek protests turned violent. Spain is rocked. Unemployment in France tops 3 million for the first time since 1999.
That's what happens when people are out of work.
It says honeymoon over as markets brace for volatile times. In the United States, it says the third quarter GDP has been revised down to 1.25% from 1.7%. Durable goods dropped from 13.9%, worst since recession.
And the lie that many of my colleagues keep pushing is that unemployment's around 8.1%, when the real number is 15% unemployment at least.
And people that had regular full-time jobs are taking a series of part-time jobs.
Guys with good jobs are now stamping cans overnight or working in bowling alleys and cleaning up, doing anything they can because somebody in the White House doesn't want the economy to kick in, or he thinks that government can do it.
Well, if you just heard Huckabee, and this story was around yesterday, 55% of people who have businesses said if they were to start a business now, they wouldn't do it.
Why would you? The government's in your pocket from the beginning, and then you didn't build that. Right, Jake? You didn't build it.
You know, you can start a business, you can have the road in front of your store or whatever you have, but you still need to get the people in the door and spending the money.
Right, and you've got to risk your own.
And you risk your own, and a lot of people say it's not worth it anymore.
But, so what, we're going to all work for the post office? I'm sorry. I don't see that. I see Greece. Okay, that's what I see. I see Greece and Spain and Portugal. That's where we're going, people.
Plus, as we move to the Affordable Care Act, you saw the story yesterday about health premiums are on the rise again.
Mm-hmm. So when it gets too expensive, what are they going to do with us? Turn us into crackers?
Oh, Soylent Green?
I saw that movie. I think they should put it back out. That's Obamacare for you. Jake and John is crackers. I want to be like chocolate peppermint.
Well, if you can't afford it, and part of the problem why rates are increasing is that people in this economy have put off going to the doctor or getting treatment because they have deductibles, and they don't have the money for the deductibles. Mm-hmm. So the insurance hasn't been paying out a lot on a lot of claims because of that, but also because of the Affordable Care Act. There's a new way in there about record keeping, electronics, and all that stuff, which is making hospitals, doctors more efficient as far as the record keeping. But now a lot of stuff's getting billed that used to fall through the cracks, so prices are going up.
Wow! So in other words, every government was going to help us, but we get it in the wallet. Wow! Who was surprised? Were you surprised?
Well,
That's how it works.
I was looking under the Affordable Care Act. They have 3 or 4 different levels of coverage. And the cheapest one is like $12,500.
And if
bare bones.
If you don't pay it, what happens?
You pay a penalty. You won't have insurance, and you'll be paying a penalty.
I don't have money for insurance, but I guess I'll pay the fine. Great. Smart move.
Now, in North Dakota, there's a state.
It's happy land there.
Because of fracking, oil and gas, their unemployment is at 3%. Although 1 month this year, it dipped to 2.9%. But it's been at a steady 3% unemployment. Imagine that, 3%.
You know, you'd have to find people. I mean, you have to work hard not to get a job when there's 3%. You have to be like a committed bum to not get a job. It's 2%.
They are looking for people. I mean, McDonald's, we mentioned earlier, there's McDonald's there that if they hire you, they're going to give you a $300 bonus just to get hired.
I'll have the number 2 meal.
They have $1.6 billion surplus in their treasury right now. Imagine that. Surplus, $1.6 billion.
And I hear that the strippers are doing a land office business, too.
Yes, they are.
Right? So there's a premium on pole making. The pole contract.
I mean, if you're a welder and any kind of, profession like that, they're looking for you. They say people working on the oil rigs are making $100,000.
You get a truck, you put a camper on it, and you drive out there and you work. You can make $200,000. and have some cash to live on.
We're going to be talking to one of the senators from North Dakota to ask him when this whole gravy train's going to stop.
But when you work and make all that big chunk of cash, you're doing that because you think you're going to start your own business, right? Your own molding business. Then what happens?
Jim in South Elgin. Good morning, Jim. Welcome to 89 WLS.
Good morning, gents. I have a phrase I like to kind of make an analogy between the disease called diabetes, and I call it economic diabetes. When you, as people know, when an appendage doesn't get, blood, like, a lot of people diabetics have to have their feet amputated because everything dries up. Well, the same thing is going to occur, when you suck the money out of the private sector, you're creating economic diabetes for that portion of the population that's not getting the money that they should. And it's a real problem, and really it's an educational problem that people just aren't getting, and all these lemmings are just in the bed for Obama. It's like they don't care to look at the fact that in the inner cities, what's the unemployment rate for black kids? There's no entry-level jobs. It's tough, and this is the result of all the stuff.
I think the unemployment for youth was around 40%, something like that. It was very high.
If they vote for Obama, they're basically morons. Okay? That's how it works. I mean, I don't know how you can vote for this guy if you think you're going to, if you want the country to get back on track, work, people get a job. It's not that he's an evil man. He's just totally wrong.
I'm just supposed to be eye candy here for you.
President Eye Candy. You know what that is? It's a mutza. I didn't want to mutza the president, but I'm sorry. You call yourself eye candy when people are out of work? Not to you, my friend.
I don't know what policies are working right now.
The policy of, playing the race card, the policy of playing the class war card, the policy of Romney's helping because he's such a stiff. He's like the guy in the catalog. I mean, that's it.
I don't know. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk to Senator John Hoeven from, right now, one of the senators from North Dakota. We'll talk to him, but it's 10:15, time for a check of WS traffic, 89 WS traffic. Here you go.
89 WLS.
10:16, we're talking about North Dakota, 3%. Oil and gas. They're doing it with oil and gas.
People are working.
And you know what? We have the ability to do that in southern Illinois. Do you know that?
We have oil, and you know what? We have this other thing called coal. You ever hear of it?
Well,
when you burn
coal is leaving. Coal is going. Coal is bad. We have to get rid of coal.
Yeah, because we have it.
Yeah, coal is a bad thing. Right. They have this thing in Congress called PAYGO. It's a law they passed that says before they start a new program and have to allocate money for it, they have to either save or get taxes somewhere.
You mean pay as you go?
Yeah, pay as you go.
That's a program, or is that just a fantasy?
Well, it's a fantasy, right. but it's a law. They should do that. Well, they should do that with coal. Don't get rid of coal until you have the replacement. If you want to go wind turbines and solar, don't get rid of coal until you have the equivalent of turbine or solar.
Or don't give $500 million of my money to your buddy bundler from the Solyndra company that doesn't work. The solar panels. Come on.
Solar works.
People?
Solar works.
It works because a bunch of guys who were connected got paid.
Yeah, it worked for them. Well, they had a bad business model.
yeah, bad. Tell it to the grand jury.
But it was also bad business model when China is dumping solar panels in the United States at a cheaper price. Remember when they built? Remember it's the same deal with the steel when they built the State of Illinois building. They were bringing in the foreign stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, I want to go to North Dakota. I'm going to bring my hunting dog Zeus. We're going to go get some pheasants. How about it? Me, you, Jake, and the governor.
Robert in Waukegan. Good morning, Robert. You're on 89 WLS.
How you doing? Listen, I was up to North Dakota all last year. You want to hear my story? I'd be glad to tell you.
Real quick.
All right. Well, in the construction industry here, of course, all the jobs are gone. Retrained into trucking. Got my CDL. And, of course, I couldn't get a job around here because I didn't have any experience. They wanted 2-year driving experience. But North Dakota, as long as you had a clean driving record and could pass the drug test, you had a job. The job paid about $21 an hour, and you worked about 70 hours a week. You just got to bring your house with you because there's no place to live up there. Everything's full. So you get a camper, like John said. Get a camper, tow it up there, find a place, there's jobs galore up there. As soon as you talk to somebody, anybody in a grocery store, in a restaurant, they'll set you up with a job in a matter of minutes. And sometimes you got to job hop a little bit to get the right job, because not everybody up there really knows what they're doing. It's kind of new to all of them. But you get the right person up there, get the right place to work, and you can make some good money. It was hard to be away from home. I was away from home for a year, wife and kids at home, daughter at home. Came home as often as I could. But I got my year of experience. When I got my years of experience driving the truck here, I started applying for jobs around here, and I got a job in Chicago again. So I got to come home, and from being unemployed for 2 years because of the construction industry, I'm working again, and I'm not as good off as
How much did you make? How much did you make out in North Dakota?
Well, it was all depending on how often you worked. The work is consistent, but sometimes the roofs would shut down. I was driving a water hauler.
Yeah, but what did you put on your taxes? How much was the year worth to you?
$55,000 in my first year, and I probably worked 75% of the time. Sometimes you get an 84-hour week. Sometimes you only get a 20-hour week. I was up there in the winter with an extremely terrible winter and extremely harsh, and we had 50 below zero weather, and that's difficult weather to deal with.
Would you do it again?
If I was put in the same situation, yes.
All right.
Yes, I would.
Thank you, Robert.
It was a way of saving life.
Can I get a job? Can I get a job in North Dakota shooting pheasants and feeding the workers? Because that would be fun.
Ann in Chicago. Good morning, Ann. You're on 89 WLS.
Hi. I wanted to say, my family has a farm up there, and they got the land free, generations ago when they were giving it away for homesteading. And, it stayed in the family. We rented out for grazing, and we wanted to go see it now because it's right where all the oil drilling is. And the guy who rents it said, there's nowhere to stay. The workers are pitching tents in parks because they can't build housing fast enough. So literally there's no hotels. There's just nowhere to stay. And the guy who rents it said, total stranger, said, you can come stay with us. So that's North Dakota for you. But it's fascinating because it was just such a wasteland for, just generations, and now it's such a hub of activity. It's amazing to see this.
Well, that was like Alaska when they first started.
Yeah, my grandfather, I wish he was alive to see this because, he came to Chicago because he thought North Dakota was such a tough life. And he was a workaholic here, but he thought, that farm was, so much harder. And so I wish he could see what was happening with the land.
Why not build a dance hall and hotel on your land and have Miss Kitty, Miss Kitty can take care of the Pharaoh wheel or something?
Thank you, Ann. From North Dakota, John, you can see Canada.
As long as I see some ringneck pheasants flying up in front of my shotgun.
10:20.
You gotta tell them, silent breed is people!
10:22, back after this.
Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS.
10:28, Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS, on the air and on iHeartRadio. John Kass and Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan.
We're in for, and they're in for Don Wade Roma in the morning with Don Wade not feeling well, and we hope the best for him, Don.
Yeah, Don is undergoing surgery today. If you wish to send him get well, you can email him, getwelldon@gmail.com. You can go to our website, WLSAM.com, and see the latest there, the updates on what's happening.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll be back. They optimistically, they said 4 to 6 weeks.
Let's hope so. Everyone's got their fingers crossed. I know there's a lot of stuff that would be driving him crazy. But one thing that I'm interested in talking about later is this whole business of the polls. I heard Bruce and Dan arguing about...
Oh, forget the polls.
They're arguing. People are upset. And I came up with an idea, basically to have a chia poll. You grow the chia head, Obama, chia head, Romney, and whichever has the better head should win, right? Because it's all about selecting a president based on how cool they are. So why not select their green fro? The guy who's cool, the guy who
sings. Do you know a chia guy?
What?
Do you know a chia guy that does chia pets?
That actually grows them? We just started. I've got Shooter at the office. She's probably listening to this now.
But I mean, you know the guy who actually makes the Chia Pets.
Joe Padot?
Yeah. Do you know him? Think we can get him on?
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll try. John Kass, Jake Hartford, in for Bruce and Dan. It's
1089 WLS.
1037. Sign up for the Townstone Financial WS text line and receive breaking news from 89 WS. Text breaking to 68683. Standard text messaging rates apply. For details, click on the mobile tab at WSAM.com. Right now, we're talking Chia Pets, and joining us right now is the man who has Mr. Chia himself, Joseph Pidat. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Now, the reason why you're on, Joe, is because I got a package at the office of the Chicago Tribune with two heads in it, one Romney, one Obama. And I decided to have a poll at work, and I want people to chant all through the office, two heads enter, one head leaves, okay? So that there will be one winner. Now, we put who's going to win, first of all? Who do you think will win in the Chia contest? If everything's
the one
equal.
that grows the best afro, of course.
And that's the main thing, right? When you pick a president, is picking the one with the nicest hair. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
So when did you start this Chia Pet empire of yours?
Is this John?
Yeah, this is John. John and Jake.
John and Jake. In fact, I didn't work yesterday. I'm Jewish, and it was a holiday. So
yes.
When I finally turned on my BlackBerry after sundown, there was a deluge of emails from my friends in Chicago, and I couldn't open up the BlackBerry on the I read the article, but I couldn't read the whole thing. And it was everybody said it was fantastic. And then when I made a point of getting to the office at 7:15 this morning, and somebody was here to set up the video blog you did, and it was absolutely hilarious. How you got to be a straight man. In fact, I'm emailing.
I'm Jake Straight Man.
Huh?
I'm Jake Straight Man.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
Well, tell us
because Jake doesn't have a Chia Pet.
Jake, you don't need a Chia Pet. We've got two at the office, and when they grow completely, we'll bring them in and decide which one would be best on the view. In the meantime, Joe Pidat, the owner of Chia, you tell us a little bit about the problem you had, though. When you came out with the Obama Chia, and I've got both the serious Obama and the happy one, because as you know, Joe, that's where you grow hopium from the head of the.
Absolutely.
And then you roll it and smoke it, and then the economy is better, once you inhale it. But what happened? You put these Obama Chias out there years ago in 2008 after he won the election, and it became a racial issue, didn't it?
Well, I don't know the intent. If you sort of close your eyes, when Obama won, he inherited the biggest can of worms in my lifetime, and I'm 80 young. General Motors was belly up, Chrysler was belly up, unemployment I think was 50%. AIG was
okay.
Was
you're
belly.
neutral.
I mean,
we know you're neutral. Okay, but
yeah, I'm neutral.
But you put this thing out there. You had already given him one of them. He liked it. You met him at he said. I think he said. What did he tell you about his hair, though? Did he say something?
He said it was a very good copy, but he said his hair is green, and everybody laughed.
And he gave it to his kids.
He liked it.
And then Walgreens put it up, and some people complained, right?
I don't know. I know that we did a test market in Tampa and Chicago, and I do know from our sales figures that every day it was out, they had approximately 50% increase from the previous day.
So,
and that the buyer at the time called me on a Thursday and said, let's go national. So I immediately ordered 300,000. Next day I get an email, they're taking it off the shelf. And because
you don't want to make too much money. They didn't want to make too much money.
Well, look, Walgreens has been a mentor of mine, and they've been very, very good to me. Why they did it, you'd have to ask Walgreens.
Well, the point being now,
I know the buyers and everybody else wanted it, but whatever the reason was, I assume they thought it was a good reason. And once the word got out with the other retailers, they were they figured Walgreens do something they didn't know, so everybody canceled out, and I was stuck with a lot of G. Obamas.
Well, are these available for sale now, Joe?
Yeah. In fact, the only brave hero among the retailers was Kmart. And Kmart has limited supply in Chicago and all over, and they love it. I assume they've never had any complaints. They don't know why anybody else has dropped it, but they're the only ones in Chicago that has it. Or anybody could go to Amazon or American Chia and order direct, or they could even go to Chia Obama or Chia Romney.
And they could have their
Amazon is carrying it.
And they could have their own poll, right? They could grow the heads together.
I'm going to have later today, and I promised Evangeline to send her the Amazon how many of each are being sold on Amazon, and also Kmart's computers were down, and I haven't had time to check to see if they're up. I promised her I'd give her those figures too. So you'll get from me a running poll if you'd like on how they're selling.
What I really want, Joe, is for you and Jake, both of us talked about this earlier, what we want is for you to come up with some other Chia heads.
Okay.
How about a Rahm Emanuel head?
That can be done.
Right, and maybe with the hand, with the finger that he cut off at the Arby's, that he could kind of raise it. How about and he could raise it to Karen Lewis?
Well, if there's a demand for it, why not? But I'm not trying to get into a political thing, but if there's a genuine demand for something and it's in good taste, that's fine.
Oh, then you need to do an Oprah Chia.
That would be
well, if she wanted to, I would. She's one of my heroes.
Right. Joe, we're going to let you go. Good luck with the Chias, the Romney Chia and the Obama Chia.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And, John, I hope our paths cross. And, Jake, if you'd like your own set, let me know. Have your producer let me know. I'll send
them to WLS. They'll start their own poll.
Take care, Joe. Bye-bye.
Your own poll. Bye-bye.
Joe Pidat, the Chia Man.
From Wicker Park, Chicago guy. Chias.
10:44, back after this on 89 WLS.
89 WLS. WLS for up-to-the-minute forecast from America's most dependable, the Weather Channel. Online at WLSAM.com. Keyword storm and 89 WLS.
10:51. John Kass, Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan, who are in for Don and Roma. We're just about out of time, John, but today, as you've heard on the news, both the president and Governor Romney are out in Virginia campaigning. They also were in Ohio yesterday all day.
Yeah.
And we have some tape in from a protest.
Well, there were people outside the Romney rally who were protesting against Romney.
Against Governor Romney.
Romney, he sucks!
And somebody came with a news camera came and did a interview. Let's hear what the pro-Obama people said.
Obama. You got Obama phone?
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, you know. He gave us a phone.
He gave you a phone.
Do more.
How did he give you a phone?
You sign up if you on food stamps, you on Social Security, you got low income, you disability.
I have a question. Okay, what's wrong with Romney again?
Romney, he sucks. Bad.
Can I get an amen?
Romney may give him apps if they gave him a chance.
So the fact is that Obama gives them a phone. That's what they think, but this woman thinks at least. But really, Obama doesn't give them the phone. You know who gives them the phone? Mr. Kass, Mr. Hartford, everybody listening who pays that little thing on their bill.
Yesterday there was a story that a good portion now of people's family income is going towards cell phones. Not just people, for making calls, but all the stuff that goes with it, the downloads, this and that.
Right.
And people, because their bills are getting so high, they are not spending money on going out to movies or going out for a dinner and stuff like that. But what happens when the bill gets high, the government takes a percentage of the bill for programs like free cell phones.
So will Obama now promise iPhone 5s or whatever? Because, I mean, how...
Obama gave me Angry Birds.
Obama gave me a phone. Obama gave me a phone.
Everybody in Cleveland, low minority, got Obama phone.
Obama phone with Obama money.
I like that.
It's great. You know what?
Why are you here?
To get some money.
What kind of money?
Obama money.
Can I get an amen?
He has my vote. He gave me a phone. When the old days used to be a chicken, right, John? And a garbage
can. It
can.
was a chicken or it's a garbage can. Maybe they bailed your brother-in-law out of jail. And now it's a phone.
It's technology.
Does that come with the movies?
10:54, back after this.
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority got Obama phone.
89 WLS. Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft. 89 WLS.
$10.58.
John Kass, Jake Hartford in for Bruce and Dan. Or Jake and John, sorry. Sorry, Jake. In for Bruce and Dan.
Whatever, I don't care at this point, because Rush is coming up in a couple minutes. And we got Rowan Roper 2 until 6.
And I don't have an Obama phone. I want an Obama phone. I really want that phone.
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority got Obama phone. Mommy, he sucks.
And that's why we vote for a president. I want that phone, Mr. President.
I understand cell phones, why people have them for communications and all that, but someday, and I may be long gone when that day comes, they will say this little phone was a bad deal for the economy and productivity because kids are hooked on these things.
Yeah.
I was watching something yesterday and the same thing. Kids were just on their phones instead of working. Service, bad, I don't know. Anyway, we're out of here. Thank you for all who took part in the show, who called, those who couldn't get through, and whatever. There's always another day tomorrow. Rush is coming up at 11 o'clock. Then again, Rowan Roper, 2 until 6 for your afternoon drive home with all the latest news, guests, and fun, and the 5-on-5 and all that good stuff right here on 89 WLS. John and I will be back tomorrow in 22 hours.
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority got Obama phone.
Can I get an amen?